If I woke up tomorrow with zero savings in my bank account, a pile of bills to be paid, kids depending on me, I wouldn't panic. I would get a plan, because the biggest mistake most moms make isn't earning too little. It's trying to fix everything at once. Whether you are a stay-home mom, working mom, single parent, or just trying to stretch every pound, this video is for you.
Hi everyone, my name is Tish, and in this channel we focus on health and wellness, investing and saving, and also creating options as moms, whether you are a stay-home mom or you are a single parent, or you just want to create options for you, or you want to take care of yourself. This channel is for you. So in today's video, I will be sharing about 5 or 6 priorities I would focus on if I had zero savings on my bank account. So step number 1 is that if I were a mom with no savings at all on my bank accounts, I would focus on trying to identify the financial leaks. So that means that you need to look at least for about 3 to 6 months on your bank statements to exactly find out where your money has been going or where you have been spending your money. In most cases, if you are a mom just like me, there are times where I spend money emotionally. There are times where I do impulse buying just because I think I need it. And there are times where probably I'm just spending money and I'm not fully aware of what I'm doing, because I feel like, okay, maybe I have money in my bank account, I'll just spend the cash because it's there. So you need to identify your own financial leaks for you to really understand where you would start if you were starting from zero, because that's where probably you will find an extra 100 pounds or 50 pounds that you can start with for you to start building some sort of a saving in your finances. So I would say start with your financial leaks, identify them by looking at your bank account. I know as moms we are busy, and there are times where you feel like I just don't have the mental energy for me to go through my bank statement, check what I'm spending my money on. And in most cases, because we don't like doing that, we find ourselves not having any sort of savings at all, that we are saying, okay, for a rainy day, I'm putting away 50 pounds or I'm putting away 100 pounds. You find that it's very difficult because we don't like looking at those things at moms, because there are so many things that we are pulled on in different directions when it comes to just taking care of the kids, house responsibilities. But if you have no emergency fund or some sort of a savings, or you're not investing as yet, I would say start by looking at your financial leaks and see where exactly your money is going, and start from there. And step number 2 is that you need to create some sort of a budget. You don't need complicated stuff. Start with a simple budget tracker. If you have your computer, create something on your Excel that you know you can easily manage with for a start. Identify different categories for your spending, your income, your normal expenses, your miscellaneous, everything. Put it in there. Create a simple budget that you know that you're gonna stick with for each and every month when it comes to saving. To be honest, a budget is for everyone. You don't need to be a 9-to-5 goer for you to create a budget. If you're a stay-at-home mom and you receive an allowance, or you're a single mom who's taking care of everything, you still need a budget for you to see exactly where each and every pound is going. So I would say, as a step number 2, create a budget, outline everything, and direct where each and every pound is going, because that will allow you to actually see where you need to cut back, where probably you might need to allocate cash when it comes to then saving and also investing. But you won't be able to know that if you don't have a proper budget in place. So you need a budget. So after identifying everything when it comes to your cash, I would say move to creating a budget and try and stick to that budget for at least 3 to 6 months. and adjust as you go so that you see exactly where each and every pound is going. And step number 3 is that I would say create a tiny emergency fund. Trust me, an emergency fund doesn't have to be complicated. People think that creating an emergency fund, it's super hard in this economy, and things are expensive, and all my cash is just going into different stuff. To be honest, if you are spending about 2,000, 3,000 or 4,000 per month, depending on your monthly expenses, and you feel like just getting a 1 month emergency fund is going to be super difficult, trust me, you don't have to aim for 4,000 at a one go. You might say, I might just save about 1% of my salary for me to build an emergency fund. Even if it takes you 5 years for you to reach a proper amount when it comes to your emergency fund, it's okay. So I would say apply a 1% rule. I remember when I started saving my own emergency fund. At the time, I was paying childcare, contributing to things around the house. To be honest, I was left with nothing. But I knew that if something were to go wrong, either on my husband, who is the kind of the person who earns more in the house, but if he was to probably something happens and he's not working for a month or two, what would happen to us? So those things used to kind of ring into my mind. So I started saving my emergency fund with just £100. It was not even 1% of my salary at the time, but I knew that I had to start somewhere and I have to build it up bit by bit. So when I'm saying start with a tiny emergency fund, it simply means that you are not focusing on the goal of having 12,000 of emergency fund saved. If, for example, your monthly expenses are 3,000 per month, or you're not focusing on having 6,000 if your monthly expenses are 2,000 pounds a month, but you are saying, I want to start creating a tiny emergency fund just to get myself going on some sort of cash that will be kind of stored away if something were to happen, and I know that it might save me probably for a month. It might take you 2 years or 1 year just to save for a month of emergency fund. That's okay. So for me, I would say just focus on having that tiny portion of your emergency fund saved. And step number 4, create an extra income or have a small side hustle or learn a high income skill that would enable you to either switch jobs to get an extra pay, or it will allow you to start something on the side. So it's totally up to you. You just need to kind of look at what you are doing at the moment in terms of your work. Can you do something on the side that might not obviously cause conflict of interest with the job that you are currently doing? If you are a stay-at-home mom, are there things that you can start doing that you are interested or passionate about that you can monetize? Or are the skills that you can learn that are high skills that will enable you to kind of, probably if your kids are young and you're saying you want to go back into a workforce, can those skills help you get a job once your kids start going to school? Or if you don't want to probably go into the workforce, are those skills going to enable you to earn an income online? So those are the things that you might have to look at, because an extra income goes a long way when it comes to your finances. It means that if your primary job is the one that's paying all the bills and probably you are left with nothing, it simply means that you can focus on earning more on the side for you to be able to have those savings going, and also probably use that to fund your emergency fund. I feel like at this economy, things are quite difficult. Things are expensive. Grocery alone, it can go to £600 a month. For some, it's even more. When it comes to your rentals, when it comes to your mortgages, I feel like just having something extra does really help. Just for me, when I say I have my own hustle of baking and I sell dessert cakes, it goes a long way. There are months where I'm making 500 and there are months where I'm making 400. It's not as much as one person would say it is, but after my expenses. So for me, it's quite a lot. So it means that I can channel that money into something else and say the salary can handle this and this and that. So I would say try and look for something that will enable you to earn extra cash or learn a high income skill that will probably help you get another job if it comes to that. Step number 4 is that you need to start automating everything. So once obviously you have done your budget, maybe you're also earning extra and you know what you are either saving towards. You want to build a small emergency fund and you want to get your savings going. I would say for those things, even if it's just £50 that you're saying you're allocating each month to be saved, automate that £50. Don't leave it to yourself at the end of the month and say, I'm just going to transfer the £50 to this account, I'll transfer the £100 into this account. No, I would say automate it. That way, you know, when you receive your either your salary or from your side hustle, you know that on the first of each and every month you have 200, you have 150 that will be going into different accounts, and it's going to do the work for you on the background, and you don't really have to be thinking about it, and you know that it's done each month, and that money, it's also just growing. And also when you're automating it, make sure that that account, it's actually a high yield savings account. So that means that it will be also be earning a bit of small interest in there. Obviously if you are saving more, the interest will be a little bit higher, but if it's small amounts, whatever that you can get, it just simply means that it will compound as time goes on. So I would say once you have your money and you are earning extra, you have created that budget, automate everything. Don't leave it to your willpower, because once you see that you have that cash, you might probably just go out and spend that money. So you are better off just automating everything. And step number 6 is that you should avoid lifestyle inflation. So what I mean is, once you either save more or start having that cash in the side, or even having extra cash coming if you have a side hustle, don't try to upgrade your life until you have actually reached your goal. Even if you do reach your goal, it might come to the next step where you feel like, okay, now I might start investing, because probably you have reached your emergency fund and you have some sort of a savings that you have created either for long term or medium term. So instead of rushing to go and get another car with the savings that you have done, you rather say, okay, let me think better on what I need to do with the cash, and I don't need to go and upgrade or buy new clothes, buy a new car. You need to kind of stick to the same lifestyle for you to see progress when it comes to your finances. I'm not saying be extremely frugal and not do things for yourself. No. In fact, when you're creating your budget, just make sure there's money that's allocated for what? For fun things. That's where it comes. That's where a budget comes in. So you know you're not depriving yourself, but avoid lifestyle inflation. That means that when you see a sale or you see something that's now, you think, okay, now I have cash, I can go and buy that. So you try and refrain from just upgrading your life just because you feel like I have a bit of cash, I don't have emergency, but I can spend maybe £100 or 200. Because once you start dipping into that cash, it goes down, and sometimes you'll find that it becomes difficult to go back to where you were before. So you should try by all means to avoid lifestyle inflation. And then step number 7, this is just a bonus. In most cases, if you are starting from zero, I wouldn't expect you to go to step number 7, because it depends on where you are in your financial journey, whether you have debts and either you have kids that are at school, you are paying school fees and all that. Step number 7 is a bonus, because it means that you then start allocating money to your investing portfolio. That means that you start investing in the stock market. So that's another video for another day, but it means that you go to this step once you know that you have sorted yourself when it comes to what? To your emergency fund. You have some sort of savings either for medium term or long term, but you know that those things are structured, and once you start investing, you won't go dipping into what your investing portfolio just because an emergency came in. So I would say go do step number 7. Once you know that your step number 1 to number 6, it's completely sorted. So that's all for this video. And if I were a mom or a single mom or just anyone who's starting from zero when it comes to saving or building an emergency fund, wherever you are in your financial life, these are the exact steps I would go through to make sure that I start building something when it comes to savings, and I'm not always stressed when it comes to money each month. So that's all. I will see you all on the next video. Bye.